Sorry, give me just a second, you guys, to go live on KCAA radio affiliates at NBC. 30 seconds. Ten. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. I have nobody here except little old me who wants to talk about running again for state senate, but this is going to be in a sense of why I decided to get into politics in a whole. So, what I'm going to also discuss is the VA hospital. You have the good, the bad, and the ugly. In my experiences, it's not always like other people experiences, but I just want to express to you my experiences just so those who have bad experiences can know how to get their name out there and put themselves out there to the VA General IG and Inspector General so that we will not have to continue to go down the road of it should be swept under the rug and nothing should happen to the people that hurt us and not only hurt our health care but hurt us mentally and is not contributing to us growing mentally. Now I have a great psychiatrist, I have a great doctor, I have a great everything as a whole. But before I was plugged into the right people, I had horrific problems with the VA. This was before Washington State. It was on and off, good people, bad people, good people, bad people. But I'll tell you this. Let me tell you a little bit about me. We're not going to go into where I'm from or nothing, but let me tell you, I myself suffer from mental health issues. So I'm not going to say what I suffer from, but I suffer from mental health issues. And these issues affect my well being when not doing the right thing with therapy and treatment. So, with therapy, with treatment, I am able to function like a normal person. What is a normal person? We were talking about that in class. There is no normal person. Everybody has to wear many different masks and they know how to hide it. And some people are normal, where they look at different ways to think without having to ask, well, how do I think like that? Why am I not thinking like a typical person? I guarantee if we were to interview 90% to 100% of the globe, at least 75%, and they were being honest, 75% would suffer from some sort of depression. And that probably will climb to 80%, seeing as though what happened with the COVID. So, like I said, I am an advocate for the government and the homeless. It would be a hit or miss, right? Advocating for the government or the homeless. I advocate for both. I've had some great doctors come in my life that has showed me respect. Until I start disrespecting a doctor without no reason, because I always have a reason if a doctor disrespects me and looks at my chart and judge me based on my past or what somebody lied and said in my chart. Because once it's in there, then I have a problem with that. When you treat me like I am a competent, I'm not asking you to treat me like I've always been mentally stable. Treat me like I am competent. Like I'm competent to the point where I respect you, I listen to you just as well as you do me. So the homeless is suffering. I may have my own place now, but the homeless is suffering. They are sleeping right next to the police station. It is about to be August, and the chief of police is about to be out getting a job that's not affiliated with King County. So I am proud of him. And he probably don't even know who I am, as many times as I've been down there. But he is an amazing chief of police. You know, I wrote him. I did write him. And he let me speak with a detective. And once again, they never take me serious. And I'm not going to go into details, but the chief took me serious, but the detective did not, because they're trying to figure out, but maybe this was like a safety net for them not to dig too deep into it because of what investigations might show. So they go underground and do it. So that's why I'm not mad with the detective, nor am I mad with the chief, nor am I mad at any officers. I just keep my distance. Unless something is seriously going on, I keep my distance. Period. So I take up for the police officers because I know they see a lot of stuff that we don't want to see. They are our cleanup people. They get to see death, which is not a good thing. They get to see famine. They get to see homeless, crapping on the street, sleeping next to the place that they work at 15, 16-hour shifts. They have to do shootouts. They have to wrestle with people. They have to do a lot of stuff. Hey, some officers like it. Some officers like it. Some officers are getting burnt out. Some officers try to get a pay raise so that they can push paperwork. Who knows? But eventually you get burnt out. And so the homeless is struggling because some have mental health issues and are competent to the point they can take care of their houses without a help of a beneficiary. But something happened to them over the course, like drugs or the environment or a relationship that has caused them to be homeless. Some homeless people want to be homeless. They buy a tent, they get a portable heater, they get a portable conditioner, and they sit next to the big lots and they do what they do. But what about those who don't want to be in the jungle? You remember that song, Welcome to the Jungle, in California? I forgot the name of the group or the singer who sung that. But I was in an Uber, and the guy that was driving the Uber said, I never forget what he said. He said that the singer, the hit singer who sung that song, said that when he was homeless, because he's a hit singer now, when he was homeless, somebody robbed him at knife point to his throat and said, welcome to the jungle. And he knew that not the person that robbed him, but he knew the guy personally. So I got to meet a lot of people on my homeless journey, but I know the reason I was homeless is because I was suffering not only from a heightened sensitivity of my mental health due to me having some factual evidence proving that I was being followed, proving that I looked to the police to look out for me. And sometimes we didn't always see eye to eye. I'm not going to suck up to the police and be like, oh, they were darn good. The police is awesome. Don't get me wrong. It's just that they saw things in a different light. They always look at my mental health, and that's the best thing. The worst thing actually to do is when you look at somebody's mental health before the truth. So you're saying that if a mental health patient get raped, it's not true based on them having mental health issues? It's not right. That's the only problem I had. I've been hung up on. I've seen said, get along with your neighbors. I've seen things that a normal person would be like, huh, this isn't normal. So, moving on, the homeless. They need to be taken care of too. I fell short of a lot of good blessings in Salt Lake City because I was being followed. I've seen an 11-year-old boy actually um, do things that I am not going to say, that I have to actually have that image embedded in my head forever unless they get some type of technology to take out all my negative images, that I've seen over the course of 3-4 years, that has been horrific for me. I've seen some things, and it all stems from the parent and what the parent allows the child to do. And on top of that, the child, I'm not going to go into the race of the child, but the child was being told to do that by the father. So that put me on alert to always look out and see what's going on in my surroundings. Is it safe? Is it going to happen again? Which it has happened again, with even younger children. It has nothing to do with me. No, I am not a pedophile. I put that on God, not the God we pray to, not a Christian or Buddha or anything. I put it on the universal God, the multiverse, the omniverse God, that I am not a pedophile. I've never molested my children. I've never molested anyone's children. And I don't find it cute to do that type of stuff. It is not my fault why this specific race did this to me. And so I was on heightened alert. And so to get to the point, I was homeless, moving around from place to place. And I don't find it, the VA wasn't taking me serious at the time. It's one thing to see something that isn't there. It's another to see something physically that's there. And that's all I'm saying. We have boyfriends. My husband got away with almost killing me, and got away with it right on camera in the Pennsylvania court. These are the things that the stigma around mental health and homelessness. And that's why some homeless people just give up. But I'm a fighter. I'm a fighter. So what I was saying, let me get to the point. If we do not see exactly what we are doing wrong with not allowing people who are considered perfect, who are not considered perfect, who have seen what the homeless lack from what the homeless don't lack, how can you sit up there and bring in somebody that just push paperwork, read the statistics? Sometimes the statistics isn't right about the statistics based on what? How do you get these statistics? Talking to people who lie their way into shelters like I had to do. But they were connected to the VA and literally found out how much I was making and literally treated me like crap because how much I was making. They feel like I shouldn't be homeless. Why not put people that's been there and done that into office where they know what's really going on in the real world? Not reading a book, a pamphlet, or a thick book full of what John Doe or Jane Doe said about what the community has been saying. Don't go out and put a black person on video or a white person, a lower class white person, or even an American Hispanic on video saying, well, what do you think about this? Because that's not how everybody else thinks. We need people that actually lived in poverty. We need people that done lived homelessness. We need people that is supporting themselves, is going through therapy, is successful, is continuing abstinence from drugs. That's what we need. So you can know how to handle the city. Because if you really knew how to handle the city, you would go to the city and not make it a political move, but go to the city and sit up there and talk to the people one-on-one, one by one. Yes, warn them for guns. That is the stupidest thing. A random person in a real messed up neighborhood could get shot. That's black. All black neighborhood could get shot random in a gasoline station or a grocery store. So why not warn them? But you talk to them. You ask them, what are they lacking? You ask them personally. Don't tell your assistant, tell them, ask them what they lacking. I was happy when Bernie Sanders made that move. He's an independent, but he didn't even support that move. It was another person who let down the community of Baltimore City. He went in there for politics. Everybody was so happy to see him. He walked down the same disgusting, pissy, crappy streets I used to walk down. And then he said, it looks like a third world country. Yes, it does. People are nodding out in the middle of the street. People are nodding out everywhere in Baltimore City off of that Suboxone and methadone. It's just not right. So anyway, like I was saying, allowing people who are not considered perfect to come in. And that's what I mean. I am tired of the same people coming in that can talk well and think that because they can talk well, they got a better education. They weren't a University of Phoenix person, which University of Phoenix I stand by. I stand by University of Phoenix because their structure is vigorous. It's not as easy as people think. And other things like took special classes and stuff that they shouldn't go into politics. If they didn't get an honorable discharge, they shouldn't go into politics. If they didn't fight the Iraqi-Afghan war, if they weren't all a Purple Heart or, whatever the case may be, it's not right. And that's how I feel. So, moving on. You can allow people with mental health issues to work in a government agencies like Veterans Affairs, but not allow them to be state senator under a good doctor. Everybody has a doctor, whether they talk about it or not. It's their right to either talk about it or not talk about it. I choose to talk about it because one day it's going to leak out, and I don't care if it leak out. All I know is I told the truth with everything I told my doctors over the course of however long I've been seeing my VA doctors, which has been since 2003, since I've been in the Army, because you're never really out. You're out of the active duty portion, but you're never out of the military. That's why they say you are a veteran. And if you're under a doctor even the White House, Biden, Trump, whoever, all the presidents that they started doing this to, they had doctor supervision. John F. Kennedy, he had a back problem. He had doctor supervision. So why is this? I feel like the Senate and the House looks down upon us. I feel like we are only good for one thing, and that's taking care of our mental health. There's more to the story that meets the eye than taking care of just our mental health. We have so many other things we can be doing and to feel like we're a part of this world. Do you not know how hard it is to get into the United Nations? Do you know how secretively they vote on who they want to really be a state senator? Very competitive. Why does the VA not take care of its clients' healthcare patients? There is a chain of command you must go through in order to get involved with the higher ups, and it's sometimes frustrating. Not everyone at the A experience, well, at the experience, sorry, everyone at this experience this problem. Everyone that is at the VA doesn't experience this problem, nor do the doctors do bad things. Everybody that goes to the VA don't experience bad problems. Everybody that goes to the VA don't experience good problems. Everybody at the VA don't experience neutral problems. So I've had some horrific things happen to me while at the VA. I remember coming in, I won't say what for, but the doctor never gave my primary care doctor the note, nor nor did he, nor did he even care. You could tell on the look on his face he didn't even care, you know, and it was terrible. It was very terrible for me. I was like, wow. And when I told my primary care, she said she claims that she is going to put a report in for that, and I'm going to follow up on that. And another instance was a doctor who assumed and act like they were mind reading what I was trying to do. I told him 5 different stories in one storyline because I was trying to rush and I was supposed to go by there or call. I don't remember, but I told him 5 different storylines, which I don't want to get into detail of the good things that I was doing. And then they tried to diagnose me with something that wasn't true. Now, if you can already see, those who follow me, I've gained weight based on the medication that I'm on. I don't blame her, but we agreed upon a different drug that would not let me gain weight. But then it went back to the drug that gains weight. And I have a witness, but I'm not even going to go there. I just keep it cordial and respectful. Why do we have our veterans homeless and doubtful of change? I believe this saves time and money and helps the VA with not caring about us. Think about this. We say that the VA cares about all homeless people. The VA has to pay us a lifetime check. I want you to think on the flip side. The VA has to pay us a lifetime check. Those who got an honorable general or whatever they got. I got an honorable. A lifetime check, taking money from the VA. Think about that for a second. I'm going to let that sink in. The VA pays us for life. We're out of the military, but we're not quite out of it fully. So the VA pays us for life. I keep saying that because I want you to read those words and imagine those words when I say that. And if this isn't a good VA system, which I'm not saying it's not, but what would it do to let some people that, because let's go to the facts. Let's stick to the facts. There are people dying off that are homeless. There are people being shot by the cartel that is homeless. There are people being followed that is homeless. That's fact. Where does that money go? If they have no family and is estranged from their family, that money go back to the government. And that ends the currency process of them paying the veterans. So I don't want to assume nothing. I just want to state facts. So what can we do about competent homeless veterans? We can take them off the streets and make it easier for them to live in an apartment based on where they want to be. Not just bunched up together, not just bunched up together with people who are dangerous and do not want to see nothing good happen for even themselves. What the VA system do is they don't even give an option. When I got my first place here, and I'm being honest, at first I was happy. I went for the first thing smoking. It was other apartments, but I went for the first thing smoking. But now I see that it wasn't just me. It was the people that were supposed to provide me a safe place to live. Now they are familiar with these places. They know what it's like to be in these places. And yet they put me in a dangerous place where people are recording me right down the street from my house. People are following me right down the street. People are allowing their kids to walk and touch my car and bang on my car, my brand new 2024 car. And it was wrong. It was wrong. And they were affiliated with the same place that when I was homeless, working, well, not working, but being at the YWCA, homeless, and they've checked how much I made, they started treating me funny. When somebody don't want you to, what do family do when they don't want you to live there no more? What do your friends do when they don't want you to live there no more? They start annoying you and doing things that make you want to leave. So I do feel blessed for having the apartment, but I don't feel like they did thorough for a woman alone. I don't have a boyfriend. So I am alone. I am all alone. It's dangerous out there at night. It was very, very wrong of them. They can say up and down all day they want that they helped me find this place. And the point that I'm getting at is that the person should be able to, they can say all day that I had a choice, but I didn't. I didn't have a choice, nor did they put in the full work to get me into a good place. They didn't. They didn't. And I'm sorry. I can't help that this is my story. I cannot help that this is what really happened. I was so amped that I wanted a place that I went for the first thing smoking that looked pretty. They knew which places are bad to stay in, and that was one of them. They knew. They knew which places were bad. They would talk about it right in my face. And that's what makes my story so True. I didn't know nothing about Berrien from Kirkland, from Everett. I didn't know nothing. So anyway, we as soldiers or veterans need to take care of our own apartment building like settings. They need to show us good apartment buildings and not have us housed up to secondary felons, people that's been repeated felons, people that has no good sense in them and they want to rob or kill somebody. Yes, I said it. Rob, follow, or kill. Listen to your conversations while you're in your own apartment. Things like that. Real people in my building, they mind their business. They don't worry about what I'm saying in my apartment. As long as I'm not making no overstanding noise. They listened to everything I was doing. We as soldiers, as veterans, need to take care of our own. We need to find our own place, but they need to route us to the better places that's in there. You put a bunch of veterans together, especially with mental health. You look at the mental health part. Look at the mental health. Look at the fact they may not make friends as easily as others. Look at the fact that they're alone. Would they be more susceptible in this neighborhood? Would they get robbed? Anything. You got all that paperwork and you can't figure this out? Now, how do we create a better, substantial way of living for the veterans without treating them like less than a person? Okay. We give them back their freedom and stipulations. If you act like you are competent, you will be treated like you're competent. But if you act like you're incompetent, like I said previously, the VA has the right to take away your privileges. If you go in there belligerent, it's so many people I've seen go into the VA belligerent, saying F you, F you. And they like, come on, sir, let me just walk you out. And I'd be like, what? Scratching my head like, what? What is going on? When I had a legit reason to get mad, they did me dirty. But this guy that is obviously high and intoxicated, this guy that wants to do harm and keeps saying it and reeks of urine and feces, coming in there mad, and they're walking him out. What is going on with that picture? So when we talk about treating the stipulations like for instance, I walk in there, I'm like, doctor, I'm not feeling so good. Well, what's wrong, Miss Cloud? Well, I feel like people are following me. They should have a right to make a report to the FBI or the police about me being followed. Now, if I come in there saying, y'all know what's wrong, every time I come in here, y'all with this BS, then you have a right to say, no, Miss Cloud, I'm washing my hands of this. Depending on how I come in and how I interact with you. If I'm claiming to be competent, if I'm claiming to have a competent life where I can support myself, I can do what I need to do, I can do all types of good stuff, like support myself, buy groceries, cook, clean with the proper medications, then yeah, treat me like I'm competent. I can pay my own bills. I can do everything. The only reason I took that chance was because I didn't know. My goal when I left Salt Lake City was to get a passport and go to the UK. And I may still end up doing that in the future, traveling the world. Because I want to see what's out there that whether I know their language or not, there's areas that are safe zones for Americans that people speak our language and we speak partially their language. So I stay in the safe zones. But the reason why I'm bringing it up is because I want to know what's out there and how I can be comfortable in living without having to worry about somebody terrorizing me and me having to wake up in the middle of the night or maybe try to post-traumatic stress disorder, figure out where my knife at in case I hear my security alarm go off. How am I going to run to get my knives in case somebody break into my house? Like, these are the things I have to worry about being a single woman. Do I supposed to be in la la land? Like, do single woman, especially black, but no, any race. I changed that because every race is practically getting murdered. One, two, three white women, three that I know of. And there's plenty more where that came from. Suburban white women sat up there, they be in la la land. They don't think they're being followed. And they get followed, they get snatched up, and they get killed and raped. Is it really worth it? People don't believe these things. They like, well, it ain't gonna happen to my family. What's the odds? Well, you don't know statistics pretty well. Sometimes I'll be just watching, and somebody can be watching them, and they're not even paying attention. And I'll be wanting to say, hey, white woman, hey, black woman, hey, every woman. Like, seriously. They don't believe that it's going to happen to them. And it don't have to be with a Hispanic male killing or raping. It could be a black or a white male killing or raping. They got rapists of all races. I fear for their lives just as well as I fear for my life. But I have so much going on in the past that I have a heightened sensitivity. Yeah, I sleep wild. But I'll tell you this, if that door go like boom, I'm jumping up. Like, it's no way they can open that door very quickly because it's like a latch that you have to open it very slowly, and I'm grabbing my knife. That's the only protection I got. The only protection. I don't care about carrying a gun. If I could, I would license to carry, but based on how everything went down, I don't foresee that being in the future. Maybe 10, 20 years down the road. I don't know. But it's not a big deal for me. I know that when I was in Pennsylvania, I had a woman sleep with my husband, get pregnant by my husband, all while I had a cleaning business. And what happened to me? I had 20 different guns. They were telling me all types of belligerent stuff. And they were of another race. And I didn't care. I didn't go saying, oh, I got a pistol. Let me go bust one. No. Because I know the rules and I know what's right and what's wrong. What's right is that I just stay away from them. What's wrong is that I go trying to kill somebody for no reason, for drama. So this is why I want to be senator. This is why. Because I know what it's like to go through drama. I'm not going to sit up there and give y'all no craziness to latch on to. Like, for instance, I tell the truth. There are some things I would never say is true or false in my life, but God knows because He's always watching. But it 98% of the stuff that I say is the truth. Everybody, like normal, they quote normal people say, everybody don't need to tell everything, such as, do you have a psychiatrist? Do you have a doctor? Do you have a therapist? Some people don't want their businessmen told, and this doesn't work well for them. Well, what works well for me is telling my truth and going out there fighting for the ones that's going through the same exact stuff I'm going through. I am rooting for every woman that is single, every woman that is married. Like, it doesn't matter. I have never been jealous of a woman in my life, and I put that on the Bible, and God knows. I'm not perfect. I'm not the most perfect woman, but I've never been jealous. I've always looked out for other women. Now, on the contrary, my life story says a bit different about how women looked out for me, but I always look out for women. Period. Because we are just as, to me, I feel like we are beings, are life makers, life bringers. Whether we can make a life or not, our engineer structure, we have the engineer science to grow a life. We are life bringers in this world. We should be treated with respect and dignity. Not based on how we look or dress. As long as we're clean and we're wearing clean clothes and we're not doing nothing crazy, you know, I think we should all be treated with respect. That's why I look up to Donald Trump's wife, because it must be hard on her. It got to be hard on her. Melanie. You know, she, it's not like she was fully ready for what was to come as being Donald Trump's wife. The most hated man in the year 20, between 2017 and 2023, the most hated man. I even look up to Jill Biden, and uh, Michelle Obama. And I'm not saying this just because I'm on KCAA radio. I'm saying this because I do. They have some things I don't like about them, yes. But I look up to them. They all have doctorate degrees. They go to book clubs. They do speeches. They do a lot of good things. And I hope, I hope that, you know, they make a change without pursuing, anything crazy. But I hope they make a change, because everybody that is president, their wives, you can't say husbands yet, but their wives, They want to make a change and change the world. That was their goal, to make a change and change the world with their husbands. Now, the stuff they say has been weird. And I'm neutral in this. I'm neutral. But you know, Melanie is a wonderful person, seriously. What I hate is that running for state senate has been difficult for me. Whether I knew the material or didn't know the material, it still would have been hard based on uh, my skin complexion and how I dress or how I talk. It wasn't never about what I knew versus what I don't, because I know it, but I know it through street knowledge, through what I've actually been through. And we can make this world better if you put a little bit of people like me in the Senate to help. I mean, you got people that are well educated cussing each other out at all costs. Like one guy on the Biden, what is it? It was a Biden impeachment trial with Hunter. He sat up there and he was like, he was working for Biden, of course, and he was like, time is up. He actually drew a flat line on a board and said, time is up, and these are the things that senators, and then that wasn't nothing compared to the things that I look up to Marjorie Taylor Greene too. It's just that, some things that happens, they flood it. I'm not saying she's bad. I'm not saying she's good. I'm just saying that they go at it. When they go at it, and these are highly educational people. So what's so scary about somebody like me coming in? These, sorry, y'all. This is highly educational. Like, what is the deal? And I'm going to keep advocating for this till 2027. And let's say push comes to shove, that I may even have to move out of state to a predominantly all Black area. I'm going to call first, just to get my foot in the door with running for state senate. I'm never going to quit. This isn't what I'm going to do. Quitting is not in my blood. I'm taking my time like the tortoise in the hare. Yeah, I'm taking my sweet time. I'm not going to sit, but wouldn't it behoove some people to put me in state senate to bring more Black people to the community that say, she is from the ghetto and she lives like pretty good and she's doing good and moving up in the world. Why not sit up there and put her at state senate to get more Black people to see that we can come together? If a white person help a Black person out, that's tremendously a large thing. But if a Black person have to claw their way up and keep saying, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, and nothing happens, then something is wrong with that picture. So I'll say this. 1, I am not prejudiced. 2, I like all races. 3, I am a very prestigious woman when it comes to learning street knowledge. 4, I think the VA should be taking care of their soldiers or their veterans a little bit more. And if you don't know where to go to IG. Go to IG And thank you, KCAA. Go to, I was like, oh my God. Anyway, Inspector General, call the Inspector General, fill out a federal tort law claim, and start the process of that in Washington, D.C. And go to patient advocacy and look out for your women, man. The men got it. They like, they got it. But to look out for your fellow woman, no matter what the race, shows your dedication, courage, determination, everything. I don't care what another Black person did to you in the past. Look out for that other Black woman. I don't care what a white woman did to you. Oh, she was snobby. Who cares? There's plenty of other white women that are not snobby. There's plenty of other Black women that are not stuck up or snobby. And that goes for men too. So yeah, take care, y'all. I'm not going to wait it out the whole minutes, but this has been brought to you by KCAA. This is very educational because I feel like y'all need to know what has been going on with me as a whole, with them being followed and all of that. Y'all need to know what's going on in the VA. And if you are scared to speak out, get a lawyer. If you are scared to speak out, consult your loved one. If you're scared to speak out, continue to advocate, get on the news, do what you have to do. Get a petition, start talking to people at the VA, talk to the police, the MPs, the police at the VA police, whatever you have to do. Get your name out there. Change these laws, Olympia. Change these laws about the veterans. Only you can do it, because if I was in office, I would be doing it. Thank you. Oh, yeah, this has been brought to you by KCAA NBC. Thank you, big guy. I love you. Like, he's so nice and so sweet. He was like, what are you doing today? I said, I have to write something. And this is what I wrote. Thank you. Great show. Take care. Bye.